It's 2025, and if you own a social media marketing agency or a web design agency or lead gen agency or agency as a whole without a good system for client acquisition, then there is a really good chance that you're losing out your potential clients to your competitors because you lack the systems, strategies, and processes in place to actually secure those deals. Now, we've been consistently generating appointments, leads, opportunities for our agency and for our clients purely using cold outreach. And I'm going to show you everything in this video A to Z that you need to get agency clients from cold outbound. Essentially, when it comes to actually getting clients for your agency, you could take the inbound approach or the outbound approach. Now, focusing on outbound, you could do cold DMs, you could do cold calls, or you could utilize cold emails. Focusing on cold emails, you could easily scale beyond 50K, but a lot of people do not know how to do them right. And if you properly execute on sending out cold emails and maintaining the setup, these are the results you could expect. You could be getting leads weekly at first or bi-weekly, and then slowly leads coming in daily and then stacking up day by day. So here's just a couple of examples going through screenshots from our clients' campaigns and all of that. Now, before I actually talk about the strategies that you could implement to get more appointments, let's talk about a few mistakes that are keeping you stuck from actually getting new clients. So the holistic view of when it comes to outbound is that you form your ICP, you form your offer, then you form your copy, then in the copy, you figure out your messaging, and then you also figure out who you're sending the messages to, and then the methods of outreach rather than cold calls, cold DMs, or cold email. In this case, focusing just on cold email, and then you got your platforms. So the platforms you use to send out cold emails, so that would be Smart Lead, Instantly, Email Buys, and whatsoever. Now, in this case, a lot of people, you cannot succeed in cold email as a fact if you do not have each and every section patterned up. And if you don't, do not worry, you could diagnose step by step to see what's the issue. And basically, that's what this table is going to walk you through. Okay, so the first mistaken problem is and has to do with offer and messaging. Now, the second mistaken problem has to do with your competitors' offers versus your own offer. Obviously, you're sending out emails. There are thousands of other agencies or hundreds of other agencies or businesses doing the same. How do you stand out from the noise? Then you got the third, your positioning and value perceived by the clients when they read your cold email, when they search up your landing page, when they see your profile picture. And then you got your actual email script and sequences. So how short or long are they? How frequently are you following up and whatsoever? And then you got your actual lead quality and filters you use throughout the process. So the actual figures you input into a poll or Clay, and how qualified or fit were the leads for your agency. And then lastly is obviously poor email infrastructure and workflow. I would heavily suggest figuring out this first, because a lot of prospects we talk to, when we give our audits and we just recommend simple ways they could structure out their inboxes, their email, their copy, everything works. They have the right copy to send to the right people. They just had the wrong infrastructure set up. All right. So I'd really just focus on this. And if you figure this out, then a lot of these other issues will just not be a worry. Okay. Because this is something that's heavily preventing you from landing in the inbox. So jumping right into offer and messaging, what are the strategies and solution that you can implement in your agency to actually solve this? Still, 90% of agencies will try to fill the mistakes and still fail. After months of testing, we've been able to come up with a few strategies that actually helped us generate multiple appointments for our clients and for our agency. And here's how you can implement them for your agency. Okay. So the first thing focusing on is upgrading your offer and delivery. What I mean by that is how you position yourself to your prospects when you send out the cold email. Okay. So you probably have the standard offer figured out that I help you achieve desired outcome within time frame without X, Y, and Z. Okay. But you can't expect to plug that into a cold email and ramp up to 1,000 prospects and expect to get any interested replies. Trust me. The format that you have to follow, instead of adding like 20 risk reversals or 20 time frames, pick one risk reversal. Don't try to do everything on the top. And the main aspect is when you have your main offer formed. All right, so let's say this is your main offer. The goal in cold email is the only way you'll crack or win is that you create mini offers pertaining to your main offer. So what I mean by this is offers that appeal to the cold market. So once you actually create campaigns, create offer and messaging pertaining to these mini offers that basically you're sending out to a list of, let's say, 1,000 prospects or 2,000 prospects, okay? You could expect once you're sending out these mini offers to them, who will latch on into it. And the main goal of these offers, they're called front-end offers, is that they have to be quick to fulfill, okay? So less than 28 days. And you could charge a value of all the way free value to like a ticket size of 997. But it has to be something, these mini offers, something they tangibly want, something that is an actual need and will solve a problem. And it's basically just a chunk down version of your main offer. And that is the only way that people will actually jump on and actually ride the wave. Because the thing is, once you create your main offer, it's really great for inbound traffic. But once you go into a cold market, you really have to put it into bite-sized pizzas, and basically distribute it to the market. So when it comes to that is when you have any mistakes or problems when it comes to offer and messaging, just really quick solution is create front-end offers based on your main offer. For how to differentiate from competitors and actually win. The easy hack is just funnel hacking. What I mean by this is actually going on the Facebook ads library, searching up your niches ads, who are running them, any agencies or even business owners themselves, and seeing which one attract you and which one have been running for the longest time. And then actually just click through the process, sign up through their funnel, see the step-by-step process, the emails, the flows that you're receiving. And then you could go that through. For main offers, how you could basically use this to differentiate from offers is see on ads what's working. You want to ride the wave, you don't want to differentiate. And basically use that into your cold emails, create a front-end offer attached to it, and blast them out. The main goal is that you just want to see what's working in the market and replicate it for yourself. Now, when it comes to actually solving your positioning issue and increasing the value perceived by the client, a solution that you have to realize is that, first of all, cold traffic it gives you no value at all. They're basically just receiving an email from watching Netflix for 3 hours or working for 8 hours a day or just hanging out with their kids. They see your email. They might show interest and they'll reply. A lot of things could happen. It's so arbitrary. So the goal is that you want to make your whole cold email system process so strictly outlined that it gets the customer, the prospect, to turn into a customer as soon as possible. And obviously, if you can help them out. Okay, so the first thing that you have to realize is that cold traffic it gives you no value at all. Okay, so you have to create status delta. What I mean by status delta is now, if you've sent out cold emails for 3 or 4 or 5 or 6 months, you've got a lot of data. All right, reposition yourself. If you got a no replies from that, reposition yourself, see what works and hit them up again. Okay, with more proof, with more social like branding. Second thing, using an omni-channel approach. Okay, so when they do reply to your emails, you could easily just connect with them on LinkedIn. All right, and then when it comes to connecting on LinkedIn, you could easily call them up if they do reply to your emails, do a warm response. So the main aspect is that it's so hard to show your value with just words, and you have to do that with your main email, and that value can stick, but it's very short-lived, and you have to extend that value as long as they are moving in the sales cycle. All right, so the goal is a lot on just social presence. They might just copy your subdomain from the emails that you're sending out of and then copy paste it and then see what comes up. So making sure every flow of the funnel is set up correctly. Now, the fourth mistake is email script and sequences. So when it comes to email script and sequences, just a kind of little note is there's so many different variations, so many different templates, frameworks, strategies that might work, might not work, that worked in the past, but don't work anymore because a lot of people just got them. So it's just figuring out what's your best copywriting style and what actually gets the responses. But the main aspect is in that cold email and you're reading an email is that you just don't want to send the dark chunks of text and all of that. So hope we're not on that stage and we're way past that. So running to these solutions is that you want to have the qualities of a great script. You want your email copy to be scrimmable. So what I mean by that is they could easily just scroll through their phone. They could find out, okay, why are they contacting me? What do they have to sell me? Because obviously, the thing is you could act non-salesy as you want in the language, but they always know that you're there to sell something. Okay. So in this case, being scrimmable, taking an approach that, yes, I'm here to do that, but I can get you this end outcome because you wanted seeing it from your post or something that came up. Okay. So that will highly matter in the relevance. So why you're reaching out to them. So yeah, make it scrimmable, pattern interrupt. This is heavily like relevant and actually beneficial when it comes to follow-ups. So what I mean by that is just pattern interrupt, just the second follow-up or the third follow-up can be something out of the ordinary. So a really nice example that I did there, just a quick search on, is that this was one of the follow-up emails. I was just like, hey, send a dollar bill, you could send a meme, you could do whatever. And it's just the 1-2 opening lines. It's just like, what the heck's this email? Okay, where did it come from? And then again, once they reach the halfway line, then they're going to be like, oh yeah, I aired this person 2 times. Let me reply to them. This was quite funny. Sometimes this works, sometimes it doesn't. So you have to take it with a grain of salt. And again, just going on with that, And again, as I said, don't salesy. It really just depends. They know you're selling something. So if you like the direct approach and you like to get things moving, try that. But yeah, then you got the value driven approach. So trying offering firsthand what they need for their business. So obviously, if you are solving an operational issue, so giving a 2-week demo of how that operational issue can be solved using this system. Or if you're selling lead generation as a whole, okay, just sending up lead sourced from your business, testing the quality, and they could let you know how the leads work, okay? And you could get information basically on their ICP, who they're targeting, and build data off that and work on your offer more and more. Then you got soft CTA. Always, always, always never shoot hard CTA on the first email, basically shooting for a call. You will just get fuck offs and all of that. So you just don't want to do that. Just really stick it to a soft CTA. And the main goal of the first email is to generate interest, is to like basically make them raise their hand. And once they do, you could call them up and you could easily hit them with, hey, just saw you reply back to our email. I saw you're interested in this. Can I help you on anything to figure this out or whatsoever? Then run your mini discovery there. And now when it comes to lead quality and filters, this heavily, heavily, heavily impacts your success when it comes to cold emails, because if you just source your leads from Apollo, they have been tapped a lot, tapped like crazy, insanely tapped. Okay, so you really want to shift your approach on where you get your leads from. Data is everywhere now. Literally in 2025, you could get data from anywhere, especially if it's other businesses' info. They're already publicly available online. So the solutions to this is actually using good sourcing methodologies and tools. Okay, so the first thing you could use is Appify. Very simple. I'll just show it up here, but it's just any tool. You could scrape Instagram hashtags, Google Maps, TikTok, whatsoever. Then you got Zoom Info. Then you could use actually Scrape.li. So when I'm Scrape.li over here, what it does is that you could just scrape your competitors' followers on LinkedIn and get leads from there. So just utilizing what are different aspects I could use to get leads. You could search up top 100 real estate agencies in city area and basically get a top 100 sites and scrape that. So there's a lot of ways you could go with that. Then the main thing is once you get those leads, obviously it's still be dirty. You need to filter them down, heavily using Clay. And when it comes to Clay, I would say just use it for your lead qualification and testing, for your copy and messaging. Do not use AI to generate emails, because that's just waste of words. You want those emails to actually be read. And for that to happen, you want to make sure that you're writing those and making sure that they're sending away good. So when it comes to lead qualification and filtering, you want to run these through Clay, and you want to do the basic checks that if they still work at the company, okay? And if they still work at the company, if it's the relevant position. And if it's the relevant position, if the company is in the business position to actually want your desired solution. And then lastly, you got your poor email infrastructure and workflow. Very, very plain and simple. If I were to start completely, if I had the cold email info, I know it wasn't working, anything was not working at all, I'd start from scratch, buy 10 domains from, for example, Port1. They have a great deal going on, hopefully. Oh, they had a 90% off yesterday or 2 days ago. But yeah, they have you could get .co domains, buy 10 domains, and then buy 20 inboxes. For inboxes, you could use premium inboxes, get that through, and then warm them up 14 days. 14 days, warm them up on instantly. Use that. And then monitor deliverability, reply rates, and out of office replies. That all impacts deliverability. So yeah, if you still think cold emails and outreach did not work in 2025, or you never got in a round 2, or you're actually working actively on it and you feel like it's saturated, you could book a free strategy session with us, clicking the first link in the description, where we will basically do a full audit of what you're currently doing and mapping out what success can look like, and show you how we've generated appointments for ourselves and for our clients. Basically giving you a glimpse of the laundry that you can walk through. Just created this recently. We help agencies build their first lead generation system. Here's what all you get. In the coming weeks, we'll create a video on it, just breaking it down, and then just the testimonial of this, the whole process. You could schedule a call, and then yeah, the whole story on why we create this offer. But yeah, just click the link below, and if you decide to work with us, we will offer a guarantee of, if we don't get you the results, we'll obviously work till the results are fucking achieved. All right. So have a great day. Take care.